Welcome back to this very exciting episode of The Great Mod. Fellow Armchair Generals, this is Gamer 1745 here. Well, Ludendorff, in his general duties as managing the occupation of France, has been caught off guard here. Yeah, he's getting there. And Belgium has entered the war for some reason against us. Their aggressive war against the Reich. We have been peacefully respecting their borders, both here and in Africa. Now down here in Africa, we have not yet responded to their wanton aggression. Take out their capital there, okay. Or main sort of city there. You go here, and then on to... I don't want to completely... because I'm worried that South Africa will come into this, of course. You can move up to there. Hold that, that would be a good idea. And you can go out into the desert and hold there. So even there we're worried about things. We are moving to secure the rest of East Africa there. While, of course, facing a two-front war within Italy, coming from the east and the west. And so we are going to continue this. Oh, we want to slow this up a bit. And we're going to slow it up even more. That's still going way too fast. Okay, we finished trench mortars. Very nice. Now, I don't know why... Well, I guess they're carrier planes, but these guys are just fighters. There's no sea attack ability. Seaplanes should have ability to at least drop a bomb on a ship. I might discontinue making those. Fokker DR1, well... We are getting tactical bombers. We may switch over to that. Oh, well, we still have to pick what techs we want to do. Combat doctrines. How are we doing there? Okay, we're still researching there. Let's do the MP-18. Sort of resisting the stall helm because I like the pickle hoob. This looks cool here on the map. Okay, so, well, as soon as you guys are... I guess you can start pursuing the attack into there. Yes, there's probably lots of areas in France that are now revolting because we don't have good occupation there as well anymore. Oh, no, 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 no. You guys don't go any... Thought I had clicked you. I'll just give it to this guy. Let's change the damn color. Blue. I know that the generals are just disconnected from what's going on. Push into Liège. We keep the pressure up. Support the attack on Lille. Yeah, these guys should be... Why does it like this god-awful color? I know they have artists at Paradox. Do they like keep them from... I don't know. Keep them from some choices? I just don't know. I can't imagine some of their decisions. Maybe it's a Swedish thing. They like that god-awful turquoise. Well, we can't forget about the big front down here, which of course has lots and lots of English and Japanese and other types. Okay, well, now that they're no longer being pressured there, go into there. You guys support that, and you guys attack there. Supported by these guys. Okay, they're already all attacking out, good. You join that push there. Okay, well now we've created a pocket that looks reasonably secure. So Django would be proud. One of the viewers in a Twitch moderator of mine. Twitch channel. Okay, yeah. Horses go towards Brussels, I should say. You stay there and occupy that. You go there. Oh, no, actually, you and you attack there just to keep these guys from regaining any sense of balance. Okay, okay, how are we doing down here? Okay. These guys have finally sort of showed up. And these guys can attack there. And they can take that. These guys can attack there. Take that Italiano. English. Pocket down. Yes, we have some Bulgarians coming to join us because we were caught off guard. Okay. Our forces from the east. Oh, well, let's go over to here. I've made it. Yes, we're hitting heavy there. And we've got Brussels. Perfect, you come in and occupy. You race towards Antwerp. The better division go to Ghent. Belgium has capitulated. Great news. Okay, great. We had been something of a deficit of basic rifles and support equipment, so that'll help. And we've gotten more factories, presumably again from Belgium. Did it also capitulate there? Nope. Their African colonies are still here. Okay. Well, as we've been sort of saying, we need more rifles, so let's just do that. Oh, we're facing some Japanese opposition. Okay, I'll keep pounding them. They must have obviously came in after Belgium joined the war. Now where are we facing? Okay, we've moved a lot of troops from there. Now, another thing that's been... Let's cancel these, yeah. Because of this equipment problems. Okay, these guys though are occupation divisions. And so we now have more regions in France. We'll have regions that are somewhat uncovered in France, and of course more regions with Belgium. Okay, there. Paris. Okay, we'll send 2 of the divisions towards Paris. Yes, some of the divisions likely can come back from Belgium, but these occupation divisions are better for occupation than regular divisions. And regular divisions obviously can be used on the front line. Okay. These other 2 that aren't, send them back over here. And at least some of these units here. Oh, we're gonna unattach you. Yeah, they just sort of got attached because I was sweeping everything up. Come back down here for occupation duties. You come up there to help hold that line. Oh good, they've made that. Looking for a guy around here who has... Well. pursue the attacks in these pockets. And let's, okay, we've got these guys. Let's get them down here towards Stanleyville. Yeah, you come and take Elizabethville. We can do better colonial rule in Congo than the Belgians ever could. Belgian rule in the Congo sucked on so many reasons. Now, I will admit some of it is simply the god-awful geography here. It just is, for communications and whatnot. That's some of it. That also sort of allowed them to do, they weren't being watched by the outside world, so they were able to do, let's call them horrific things. You know, and I just read a story that, oh, what was the service? I wish I could get it right. I think Facebook. I think it was Facebook. But if it wasn't Facebook, it was Google or one of the major ones. I mean, this isn't something obscure, people. Some relatively significant news outlet, meaning it wasn't just some single person. It was like some newspaper or something. Posted a text of a document. And on the 4th of July. You might get where this is going. And it was labeled as hate speech. Can you imagine labeling a document the document was, this document originally signed in 1776, called the Declaration of Independence, and it was labeled as hate speech. And you may be going, well, they really maybe hated people then, so it's hate speech now, and so should be blocked from average people viewing it. See, that's the critical thing, is it becomes liable for censorship. Maybe not government censorship, but who are we governed by nowadays? By governments or by corporations, and particularly internationally? So freedom of speech even may need to be adjusted for dealing with corporations who are like Google and Facebook, who rule our internet or our interconnectivity speech of today. But that's another thing. And it was labeled as hate speech and blocked because it was the text of the Declaration of Independence. Why supposedly was it blocked? Because they referred to Native Americans as savages. I don't know if you know anything about Native Americans in 1776. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about in 1776. They were freaking savages! Okay? They were savages. The word probably wasn't, I'm sure it wasn't created for them, but it very much was the primary description of them. And why were they savages? Because of the way the Native Americans behaved in warfare. And that's what they were talking about. Savages in war and whatnot. It was talking about them in warfare. And you look at their, compared to the Europeans. Now we can complain a lot about European activities in the 18th century, and that's a different discussion. But compared to the Europeans, the Native Americans would kill women and children that were non-combatants. So women and children became combatants because the Native Americans would raid across, because they would raid each other's communities. They would raid into farming communities and kill everybody. And so not just the guys, not just steal some property. I mean, they did that too, but they would kill everybody, women and children. So they were savages. They meet the definition of savages. No, we've talked to some people have objected to my use of primitives. I'm not talking about their culture of warfare. They were savages. Don't know, I'll probably get demonetized for this. Trust me, people, I get lots of demonetizations. Most of them come back later as being fine, but yes. So, I'm probably going to talk about this in another series too, but it's just irking me now. Now, so, we can talk about the god-awful terrain, then the horrific use or horrific actions of at least some of the Belgian elements in the Congo were able to be done because it was so hard for the outside world to observe, and particularly with the do-gooding English and the do-okaying of the French. We see that, but also you're dealing with tribes, groups, whatever you want to call them, that also, and this is where it came to mind, did very savage type warfare too. You know, think more ritualistic cannibalism than like, hey, we're going to eat lots of people. It just, you know, eat a bit of the heart of the enemy or something like that. But there's a lot of murder and a lot of butchery in the various warfares in that part of the world. So, so to be fair, it's a very, very brutal environment, but the Belgians did very badly. And notice, I'm criticizing Europeans and how they ruled colonially there. Not saying that they were all good and fine, but saying their opponents weren't how should I put this, necessarily any better, and probably worse. Now that your opponents are worse than your behavior doesn't excuse your behavior, but we still have a little Belgian holdout there. Okay. It doesn't excuse your behavior, but recently I saw a quote and from Thomas Sowell, very good conservative thinker. I'm sure a big racist, but very good conservative thinker. 3 ways to defeat, I think, what they called the liberals or the left's arguments. See if I can remember them when they bring up a point. Compared to what? Oh, America's been terrible. Compared to what? Whether it's treating the Native Americans, well, compared to what? And, treating, show me how terrible. I'm not saying they weren't terrible, but compared to what other similar groups of people in the world, not just Europeans, but what other similar groups were treating other groups of people that they were in conflict. So compared to what? So whatever you want to complain is bad about, tell me, okay, it's terrible, yeah, but compared to what? America is intervening in the Middle East. Okay, yes, we are, and that's bad. Well, compared to what? To Russia's meddling currently in the Middle East? That America's doing it all wrong. Again, I'm not saying America's doing everything all right. God, if you watch my channel enough, you know that. But America's doing bad things. Well, compared to what? The next way to defeat it. Yes. Or yes, as in that's what you want, but at what cost? Free education. Well, as I think most all of you viewers out there know. Oh, and also like free healthcare. A lot of you European viewers out there. You are all intelligent enough to know that there is no such thing as free, healthcare, unless you're going to reinstitute slavery, because you're going to have to pay the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare workers. You're going to have to pay the manufacturers for their goods. So somebody is paying for it, as what some people call it, single payer healthcare, education, like higher education, single payer. Okay, that means the government's paying for it. Fine, right? But at what cost? Free education. Well, in America, we already have free education through high school. Absolutely free. Doesn't have to pay for anything. The textbooks, all that stuff is free. Sure, they have to buy their own pencils and their own paper, and minor incidental costs to show up. And I know for a fact that there are programs that will help students with that if they are really truly needy. If they can't buy a tablet of paper and a few pencils or something, there are programs. And even without programs, trust me, I know a bunch of my family have been educators and teachers at different levels. Mostly like one of my aunts was fairly young elementary school. Another one was focused mainly in the high school fields. Cousin of mine is still a teacher. So I know teachers. Trust me, if there was like one, if it was a whole classroom full, it'd be a different thing. But if there was like one poor kid in the class who doesn't have something, the teacher will provide it one way or another, either through school funds or through their own. If it's just like one or two that they need to help out without going through some government program, they would help out. So we already have education free through high school, but they're talking higher education and other things like that. Yes, but at what cost? And since universities and schools costs in America are skyrocketing, even when it's free, that you're getting government loans or government grants, they're still charging the government huge amounts of money because the education industry is not necessarily private, because a lot of it is government education, but their tuition fees are skyrocketing because they have to pay for their new big swimming pool, not their sort of athletic swimming pool, but their new fun swimming pool with a lazy river in it, if you know what that is, and other things, and their new ice cream bar, and all these other things to try to attract students, because the more students they have, different government programs will pay them these outrageous fees. And so at what cost? You want X, at what cost? We need to save the planet. Okay, yes, we got to do this. Now we're going to have to kill half the population of the planet. Oh, so you want to save the planet, but you're going to do a Nazi-style extermination. Okay. I disagree. Let's not do that. Kind of thing. What you've identified some either problem or desire to have fulfilled, but at what cost? And boy, I keep forgetting the third one. There's a third one there. Well, stay tuned for next episode to find out what the third way to defeat just about any liberal or leftist argument. Got some English divisions trapped there along with the Italian. They're being hit from two sides. Let's see if we sort of help that attack out a little bit. Mostly to get them to stop attacking from that way. Looks like that province is open. Go in there. While everybody else is being tied up. Very good. Okay, good. You guys joined that fight. You guys joined that fight. trap those up there, that would be good. And okay, we've got that. You join him there. You stop that attack and come into there. Oh good, we've got this really going well. You come down this way. You come up here just to make sure that that pocket does truly go down. Well, let's grab one of you, and we're going to put you over to here. You can sort of start heading back that way. Now just come to here and over to there, just in case they need some reinforcements. Okay, extra research slot. Great, 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 great. That was over here, I believe. Yes, okay. Infrastructure effort, great. Armaments effort, military building slot, good. Dockyard expansion. Yeah, let's do dockyard expansion because we're building a lot of military factories as it is. So just to sort of balance that out, and now that we have an extra research slot, well, reconnaissance would be nice to improve. Come on, guys, get into the meat grinder of war. Okay, well, now that we have that no longer being attacked, let's break out. Yep, just with weak Bulgarian cavalry, I'm sure, but still. Well, looks like they're trying to do a landing somewhere here. And the weak Austrian navy is doing what it can, which is not very much. And oh, they're invading. This is why I've kept some units back here, because I knew somebody would be invading. Looks like the English, most likely. Here. And they landed there. Okay, well, you guys attack there. Take out that. Well, even if we lose... Okay, well, let's move in infantry divisions to keep from losing. Okay, well, let's not give any more territory to the Turks. And we like the Ottomans well enough, but we want to control... Well, they've already got lots and lots of Africa. I mean, that's... They've got a nice, fine, nice Ottoman Empire. Good for them. We're happy enough. And you come in to occupy Stanleyville. Okay, well. If they move away from that port, they're going to lose all supply, because we'll come and hit them in there, or we'll take the port. So the thing, quite honestly, compared, you might think that this is a minor thing, and I know when I was talking to some of my, teacher relatives happen to be mostly what we would call Democrat. But, and the others, if not they, one, not a teacher, but former librarian, Green Party, you know. Where was I going with this? They blew off as being entirely unimportant. This is probably something that should have happened very early on. Okay. Is that I think is they blow off as that's nothing. It's of no importance. Is this political correct speech and laws and other things to enforce gender speak? You know, some woman who puts on a man's style pair of slacks, because obviously women wear pants, long pairs in English say trousers, is perfectly fine, but specifically trying to dress like a man, or a man who puts on a dress, that now we are oppressing them if we don't call them by the gender that they wish to, quote unquote, identify as, and do that in with formal laws and or regulations and or corporate policies, not just doing it out of courtesy, you know, but doing it by enforcement of that. There's a big difference, because sure, trust me, I can decide to be rude to somebody. I consider myself a very, very civil person and try not to be rude to people. But sure, I can decide to be rude to somebody. But and whether I decide to with a particular person, because way back in the day when I was going to university, there was one professor who I think every day wore a dress, and I mean sort of a somewhat frilly dress, you know, not just a skirt, but sort of a whole dress thing, and earrings. He had sort of scraggly hair and a very full beard. And he didn't wear makeup. I don't think he was trying to pretend to be a woman, because he had a rather full beard. And I don't think, at least at the time, I think it was some sort of ideological, because he would particularly go out and stand out on the middle of the quad areas in between classes so that everyone could see him. I think it was some sort of ideological gender, non-normative something or other, breaking gender norms or whatever it was that I never talked to him, never had him as a professor, but everyone who knew about him on campus. And he wasn't, like I say, trying to look feminine other than wearing very feminine clothes, but like I'm saying, a fairly full beard, or as full beard as he could grow, and everything but sort of the dress and the earrings type thing was sort of manly, if you will. He didn't shave his legs, you know, hairy legs out under the dress, you know, sort of like an extreme clinger, if you know MASH. So yeah, so I would not have addressed him as a woman, because the beard and a few other things makes me go, okay, it's just a guy in a dress. It's, you know, but if it was somebody who was really thinking that they really wanted to, you know, try to, at least in an outward appearance, whether they do any surgery or take any hormones or not, I don't know, but an outward appearance, really trying to look like a woman, okay, I could be courteous and try to address them as a woman or something like that, and that's fine. Out of courtesy, it's fine. But they're trying to push this in by regulations, and you may just think, oh, you're not being, you're oppressing these people. No, what I see as the critical problem of it is that they're trying to have me call night day and day night, trying to get me to at least pretend in my mind the things are that reality, the things that are unreal are real, if you know what I mean. You're trying to tame the shrew, if you will. They are trying to get us to accept, freedom is slavery. War is peace. Those both come from Orwell's novel 1984. Slogans from the totalitarian government. They're trying to get this newspeak and whatnot, these facts kind of things, and that's what I am more desperately worried about. The tax level, because we've talked earlier in this episode, the tax level of what the government is going to tax me, or not so much me because I don't make any money because I work as a YouTuber, but if I'm actually made money of any real amount, the tax level that they're going to tax me to then pay for healthcare for people. I'm more worried about this, not just gender speak, because it's like, oh, it's calling, in the context of 18th century northeastern America, savages, when they behaved like, what savages would behave like in warfare. And that's very specifically what they were referring to in that context, and calling that hate speech and blocking it, whether it's coming from a historical document or my modern commentary on the subject, either one, and they're blocking that and not allowing me to call what I believe is reality. I really object to that. I am have big concerns about that. So it's not necessarily because they're in my opinion they're picking we're just getting ready for somehow somebody calling the Dutch into the war and deciding that the Dutch should. Currently, I have no plans of attacking the Dutch, but we'll see. Got enough other things to deal with and conquering enough of the world. Germany isn't going to own it all. I'm more concerned, they're getting like feel good. These people that have mental problems. Well, do they have mental problems because people are oppressing them, or because they don't somehow fit, or they don't understand their birth gender well, or something? I don't know. And that by I'm looking for the humoring them. We are somehow by humoring them, we are helping them. When we may be, and again, like I say, and so they're picking issues like that are feel-good issues. But trust me, over time, they will move to other things. War is peace, and freedom is slavery. Yeah, okay. The Belgian capital has fallen under German occupation, though the king has no plans of exiting war just yet. This has opened up an easy and direct route to the French capital. Perhaps German victory is nearly in hand. Oh, well, got us more manpower. Not that we really needed it. I need more production than manpower. But yay. And enough of this now. Don't want to let the episode get too long. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I do appreciate that very much. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. The Japanese, it looks like they've left. So it was untenable. Okay, and please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.